Today I'm going to show you how to configure your Moza Multifunction Stalks for American Truck Simulator. I'm going to show you how my controls function first, and then you can kind of decide what parts you want to use for my configuration on yours. So the way I have the turn signal stalk set is the headlights turn on and off. It doesn't matter how many times you turn them. It doesn't matter if you flash them. You're always going to get the right setting. That's custom configured through a config file. You can see if we turn the parking lights on, they turn on. You can turn the headlights on, then you push forward to turn on the brights. Push again to cancel it, and if you want to flash them, you pull it towards you and they flash. And with the turn signals, you'll see if you try this in your game, if you try this and you just map the controls and you try to cancel it, it will still blink. And on this, it does not. So I've done a little bit of custom controls here, and I'll show you how to do those in the config file as well. There is one catch to that, and that's when the right signal cancels, it'll trigger the left signal. One blink sometimes. As long as you can live with that, it works pretty great. The cruise control, when you pull it towards you, that is to set or cancel cruise control. If you push down on it, that is going to decrease speed, up is going to increase speed, and twisting would resume. Now, with my wiper controls, I have done something that I really enjoy. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. I've taken the rear wiper settings and turned them into the engine start and stop. If I turn it on, that's my accessory position. Then I can turn it over and start it. And then turning it back to off shuts the truck off. I like that. I think it's cool. The wiper settings are all custom here. You can't do this through the menu. You can't actually configure this in this method to where you can see, like right now we're wiping on low, and if I were to push it up one more, now we're wiping on high. You're not going to be able to configure this arm this way without going and doing a custom setup in the configuration. Since we don't have a mist function on the wipers, it is my air horn. If I push down on it, it just does the single wipe, and if you hold it, it actually goes really fast. Alright, we are going to get into the settings in the game. I'm going to take you through the settings one by one. You can't change all the settings in the game. You can only change a few. Anything here that says Joy 2 is my multifunction stalk, okay? So you can see I have my high beam headlights, Joy button 3. Okay, that's pushing forward. You can configure that here in the software, and that's fine. Hazard warning, which I didn't show you, is on my fog light switch. The light horn is the flashing of the lights. The air horn is when you pull the wiper stick towards you. The other custom settings I have in here are cruise control. So cruise control on and off. It's button 27, that's pulling it toward you. You can see speed increase is button 26, that's pushing it up. Decrease is 25, pushing it down. And resume is 24, that is twisting the knob. That's all of the custom settings that we will be setting in the game. On the desktop, the first thing I want to show you is the Moza pit house. Okay, in the software, you'll see down here that you get the multifunction stalks in the pit house. And if you enable button numbers, it's going to be a big help, because when you do push a control, it shows you what button number is activating. If you get lost and you don't know what button number you're looking for, just come back to the pit house. So that said, you need to open up a file explorer, go to your documents folder, go to Truck Simulator. And inside Truck Simulator, you're going to have profiles or Steam profiles. If you have an online profile, your actual profile will be under Steam profiles, and if your Profiles offline, it's going to be under profiles. Okay. Once you get in there, find your profile. You can look at the date modified to see which one you actually need. And then you're looking for the controls.sii file. Okay. You can open that with Notepad. You're going to have to scroll quite a ways to get down to the controls that you want. Now, they might not be exactly the same number. Mine are right around 380. These mix wiper settings, these aren't actually available as settings in the in-game menu. These are the individual wiper settings. Okay. And so what I've done here is I've mapped my button 21, 22, 23, 24, and 20 to each of those settings. You want it probably set up exactly like this. The next settings that are also important are the lights. Instead of using the light function, you can see I have no buttons set to it. That's why it doesn't show anything in front of this semantical.light. That means there's no buttons assigned to that anymore. I'm using off and park and lights on. You want these set exactly like this. Make sure you don't copy and paste it down line to line, because this semantical.light park is specific to this part right here. So if this says light off, you also want this to say light off $0, and so on and so forth. So I hope that makes sense. The left blinker and the right blinker you could set in the in-game menus. Now what I'm doing with these blinker H's, the blinker H means hold. Okay, it means as long as the button is held, do the function. You can see that they're both mapped to button 9. It's activating the blinker a second time when the stalk returns back to normal. And that is what creates that cancel. It's critical that you have both of these in here, both of them as button 9. I'm not sure that the ignition is in the in-game settings or not, so I'll show you those. They're up here closer to 340. You can see I'm not doing anything with engine electrical. I am using ignition off and ignition on and an ignition start. And that's it. That's pretty much all the settings. The cruise, you can set all of that from in-game, so there's nothing there to talk about. That's pretty much all you got to do. Then go back into the game, try it out. If there's something not working, go make little tweaks. That's all I have for you guys today. Keep the rubber side down. I will see you guys soon in the next video.